What if your heart did not need more pressure tonight? What if it did not need more fixing, more overthinking, more trying to stay strong for one more hour? What if the healing you have been asking for could begin in a softer way? Not through force, not through struggle, not through making yourself carry one more heavy thought into the night, but through rest, through release, through the simple choice to stop fighting with what hurts and let peace come closer. So many people go to sleep with a tired body, but an even more tired heart. The day may end, the room may grow quiet, the lights may go out, but inside, the heart is still awake. It is still holding old pain, fresh worry, silent fear, and questions that never seem to stop. The mind keeps moving, the feelings keep rising, the heart keeps carrying, and because of that, even rest can feel far away. Even sleep can feel like something you have to chase. But tonight, there is another way. Tonight is not asking you to have all the answers. It is not asking you to understand everything you feel. It is not asking you to solve every problem before your head touches the pillow. It is not asking you to prove that you are strong enough, wise enough, or healed enough. Tonight is asking for something much gentler. It is asking you to let your heart breathe. It is asking you to soften. It is asking you to put down what has been too heavy. It is asking you to remember that healing does not always begin with doing more. Sometimes healing begins when you finally stop. There is a quiet kind of healing that does not make a lot of noise. It does not arrive with force. It does not push its way in. It comes like a gentle hand on your shoulder. It comes like a deep breath after a long day. It comes like warmth returning to a cold room. It comes when you allow yourself to be still enough to receive it. This kind of healing is tender. It is patient. It does not rush you. It does not shame you for how long you have been hurting. It does not ask why you are not over it yet. It simply comes close and says, you do not have to hold this all by yourself tonight. Maybe your heart has been carrying things no one else can see. Maybe there are wounds you have hidden so well that even the people around you do not know how tired you really are. Maybe you smile during the day and keep moving and keep doing what needs to be done. But when the night comes, your real feelings rise to the surface. The quiet makes everything louder. The stillness makes everything clearer. The pain you pushed aside during the day returns when there is nothing left to distract you. And in those moments, it can feel like your heart is asking for help in a language made of silence. That silent cry matters. That hidden pain matters. That tired feeling inside your chest matters. You do not need to compare it. You do not need to explain it away. You do not need to tell yourself that other people have it worse, so you should not feel what you feel. Your heart is not asking for a debate. It is asking for kindness. It is asking for rest. It is asking to be met with gentleness instead of judgment. There are nights when the heart feels full of things it was never meant to keep carrying. old disappointment, fear about tomorrow, sadness from what did not work out, the ache of being misunderstood, the pain of loss, the weight of trying to be enough, the pressure to stay in control, the worry that things may never change. These feelings can gather quietly, layer by layer, until the heart feels crowded, tired, and heavy. And yet many people keep going as if this is normal. They keep acting as if the heart can hold endless weight without needing comfort. But the heart is not meant only to carry, it is also meant to receive. It is meant to receive peace. It is meant to receive love. It is meant to receive healing. Tonight can become a turning point, not because everything changes at once, but because something inside you begins to soften. Healing often starts in hidden places. It starts in the moment you stop speaking harshly to yourself. It starts in the moment you stop demanding that your pain leave on your schedule. It starts in the moment you stop saying, "I should be over this by now," and begin saying, "I deserve tenderness while I heal." That shift may seem small, but it changes everything. A soft heart can receive what a guarded heart cannot. A peaceful moment can do what pressure never could. One gentle breath can begin opening a door that force has kept shut. There is something powerful about the night. The world becomes quieter. The noise begins to fall away. The rush slows down. The outside asks less from you. And in that space, your inner world becomes easier to hear. This is why nighttime can be such a sacred time for healing. Not because pain disappears the moment the sun goes down, but because the night gives you a chance to stop performing. It gives you a chance to stop pretending that everything is fine. It gives you a chance to be honest with yourself, to admit that your heart is tired, to admit that you need peace, to admit that you cannot think your way into healing. You have to allow it. You may have spent so much time trying to stay strong that softness now feels unfamiliar. You may have learned to protect yourself by staying busy, by staying in control, by always preparing for what could go wrong. You may have become so used to carrying emotional weight that putting it down almost feels unsafe. But healing asks you to trust a different way. It asks you to believe that rest is not weakness. It asks you to believe that peace is not laziness. It asks you to believe that your heart does not heal by being pushed harder. It heals by being cared for. A tired heart does not need to be scolded. It needs to be soothed. It does not need more pressure. It needs more space. It does not need more noise. It needs calm. Think of how gently you would treat something fragile in your hands. Think of how carefully you would hold something precious that had been cracked and worn and wounded. Your heart deserves that same care. It deserves patience. It deserves understanding. It deserves the kind of love that does not rush healing, but makes room for it. And that is what this moment can become. A room for healing. A space where your heart does not have to defend itself. A space where you do not have to prove that you are okay. A space where you can stop trying to carry pain in a proud and silent way. A space where the truth can be simple. I am tired. I have been carrying too much. I need peace. There is so much strength in telling the truth gently. There is so much healing in no longer pretending. The heart responds to the energy you bring to it. If you bring harshness, it tightens. If you bring fear, it contracts. If you bring pressure, it hides. But if you bring gentleness, it opens. If you bring patience, it softens. If you bring love, it begins to remember what safety feels like. Tonight is not the night to demand that your heart heal on command. Tonight is the night to let it know that it is safe enough to begin. Maybe you do not know exactly what needs healing. Maybe you only know that something inside feels heavy. Maybe there is no perfect name for it. Maybe it is a mix of grief and fear and sadness and exhaustion. Maybe it is the pain of what happened and the pain of what never happened. Maybe it is the ache of being disappointed too many times. Maybe it is the weight of always being the strong one. Maybe it is simply the tiredness that comes from living with too much pressure for. Too long, you do not need perfect words for your pain in order to heal. Your heart understands what the mind cannot explain. Healing can begin even before clarity arrives. Peace can enter even before every question is answered. A burden can grow lighter even before the full story makes sense. This is important to remember because many people believe they must understand everything before they can rest. They believe they must solve the pain before they can soften. But often the opposite is true. First you soften, first you rest, first you create space. And then healing begins to move in ways the mind could not force. Tonight, you are allowed to believe that peace can reach places inside you that words cannot. You are allowed to believe that rest can do holy work. You are allowed to believe that your heart is not beyond repair. You are allowed to believe that softness is powerful. You are allowed to believe that the healing you need does not have to come in a dramatic way to be real. Sometimes the deepest healing begins as a quiet release, a small unclenching, a gentle exhale, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, you do not have to carry all of this into tomorrow. And if all you can do right now is listen, that is enough. If all you can do right now is breathe a little more slowly, that is enough. If all you can do right now is let these words rest near your heart, that is enough. Healing does not ask for perfection. It asks for openness. It asks for willingness. It asks for one honest moment in which you stop running from your own tenderness. So tonight, before sleep takes you, let this truth come close. Your heart does not have to heal through pressure. It can heal through peace. It can heal through rest. It can heal in the quiet. It can heal while the world is still. It can heal while you stop trying to control every feeling. It can heal while you let love do its work beneath the surface. There is a gentle healing available to you tonight, and it begins the moment you stop fighting your way through the pain and begin allowing yourself to be held by something softer. You may not feel everything change at once, but you may feel a little more space in your chest, a little less hardness in your thoughts, a little less fear around what you feel, a little more kindness toward your own heart. Do not underestimate small changes. Small softening is still healing. A quiet release is still healing. A peaceful breath is still healing. the beginning of trust is still healing. Tonight is not about doing something grand. It is about letting your heart know that it no longer has to carry the whole world alone. Let the night become gentle around you. Let the pressure begin to melt. Let your inner world hear a new message. Not hurry, not fear, not prove, not fix. Just rest, just breathe, just allow, just receive. Your heart has worked hard for a long time. Tonight, it is allowed to be cared for. Tonight, it is all allowed to be quiet. Tonight, it is allowed to begin healing in peace. There are burdens the body can hide for a while, but the heart always feels them. It feels the words you never said. It feels the hurt you tried to move past too quickly. It feels the pressure you place on yourself every day. It feels the disappointment you keep pushing down. It feels the loneliness you do not always admit. It feels the fear behind your strong face. It feels the sadness behind your smile. And after a while, carrying all of that can become deeply tiring. Many people are walking through life with a full heart, and not the kind of full that comes from joy, a full heart from stress, a full heart from worry, a full heart from trying to hold everything together, a full heart from memories that still ache, a full heart from the need to stay strong, stay useful, stay calm, stay in control. When the heart is full of too much pain and pressure, even simple things can feel heavy. Even rest can feel far away. Even peace can seem hard to trust. The truth is, your heart may be tired in ways you have not fully noticed. Sometimes tiredness does not only feel like sleepiness. Sometimes it feels like being short with yourself. Sometimes it feels like not wanting to think anymore. Sometimes it feels like crying without knowing exactly why. Sometimes it feels like feeling numb. Sometimes it feels like waking up already heavy. Sometimes it feels like lying in bed at night with a mind that keeps replaying what hurt you, what worried you, what you should have done, what might happen next. This kind of tiredness runs deep because it lives in the heart, not only in the body. There are many reasons the heart grows heavy. Sometimes it is grief. Sometimes it is stress that never fully leaves. Sometimes it is the pain of being let down. Sometimes it is the wound of rejection. Sometimes it is the ache of being unseen or unheard. Sometimes it is the fear of losing what matters. Sometimes it is the pressure of carrying responsibility for everyone else while forgetting your own needs. Sometimes it is years of being hard on yourself. Sometimes it is 1,000 little hurts that never got the care they needed. The heart can hold many things quietly, too quietly. You may have become so used to your own emotional weight that you no longer question it. You may call it normal. You may tell yourself that this is just life. You may say, this is how it has always been. But normal does not always mean healthy. Familiar does not always mean kind. Just because you have carried pain for a long time does not mean you were meant to carry it forever. Just because you learn to function while hurting does not mean your heart does not deserve relief. The heart often keeps carrying because it does not know it is allowed to stop. It has learned to survive by holding on to what happened, holding on to fear so it can feel prepared, holding on to guilt so it can stay careful, holding on to pain so it does not get hurt again, holding on to control so life feels less uncertain, holding on to sadness because letting go feels like forgetting, holding on to the past because the future feels unclear. The heart learns these habits in silence. It builds them slowly, often from pain, often from disappointment, often from trying to protect you. But what once protected you may now be exhausting you. A heart that has been carrying too much does not always know how to rest. Even when the body is still, the inside keeps working. It scans, it remembers, it guards, it worries, it braces, it prepares, it replays, it tries to make sense of things that may never fully make sense. It tries to protect you from tomorrow by staying awake inside tonight. But this kind of guarding is tiring. The heart is not meant to stand watch every hour of the day. It is not meant to be a place of endless tension. It is meant to be a place where love can live, where peace can return, where hope can breathe again. Sometimes the hardest burden is not what happened to you, but what you started believing because of it. Maybe your heart began to believe it had to stay alert all the time. Maybe it began to believe love is not safe. Maybe it began to believe peace never lasts. Maybe it began to believe that if you stop holding everything together, everything will fall apart. Maybe it began to believe that your needs are too much, your pain is too inconvenient, or your healing is taking too long. These quiet beliefs become invisible weight. They settle deep inside and shape how you move through life. And because they are quiet, they are easy to miss, but the heart feels their weight every day. There is also the burden of the unspoken. All the times you swallowed your feelings, all the moments you said, "I'm fine," when you were not fine at all the nights you cried where no one could see, all the times you wanted comfort but chose silence, all the moments you needed rest but kept going, all the ways you betrayed your own tenderness because you thought survival mattered more than softness. The unspoken becomes a kind of emotional pressure. It fills the inner world with things that still need room, still need air, still need kindness. And then there is the burden of self-judgment. This one can be especially painful because it follows you into the most private places. It says you should be stronger, you should be better by now, you should not still feel this way, you should have moved on, you should have known better, you should be more grateful, you should be less sensitive. These thoughts are heavy. They do not heal the heart. They exhaust it. A heart that is already wounded becomes even more tired when it is judged for being wounded. What if, instead of judging your heart for being tired, you saw its tiredness as a sign of how much it has been trying to hold? What if your emotional heaviness is not proof that you are weak, but proof that you have been carrying too much for too long? What if your tears are not a failure but a release? What if your need for comfort is not something to hide, but something to honor? These questions matter because healing begins to grow when shame starts to leave. The heart opens more easily in compassion than it ever will in criticism. A tired heart often longs for something simple, not more advice, not more pressure, not one more lesson about how to be stronger. It longs for relief. It longs for quiet. It longs for someone, even if it is only your own wiser inner voice, to say, "You have carried enough for today. You do not have to keep gripping this pain tonight. You do not have to keep solving everything. You do not have to keep proving that you can survive what hurts you. You are allowed to put some of it down." And yet many people resist that softness because they fear what will happen if they stop holding everything so tightly. They think if they relax, they will fall apart. If they stop worrying, they will lose control. If they put the burden down, something important will be missed. But most of the time, what truly happens is not collapse. What truly happens is relief. What truly happens is breath. What truly happens is that the heart finally gets a moment to stop straining. The heart heals differently than the mind thinks it should. The mind wants quick answers, clear plans, perfect control. The heart wants safety, time, truth, gentleness. The mind says, "Keep going." The heart says, "Please slow down." The mind says, "Fix this now." The heart says, "Hold me while I heal." The mind says, "Do not let anyone see weakness." The heart says, "I need tenderness more than I need appearance." Learning to listen to the heart is part of healing. Learning to notice when it is full, when it is overwhelmed, when it has carried enough. This is sacred wisdom. You may have carried more than your own pain. Many hearts do. They carry the feelings of others. They carry old family patterns. They carry the pressure of being the calm one, the kind one, the dependable one, the one who keeps things together. They carry the emotional weather of everyone in the room. They carry what is not theirs because they learned somewhere along the way that love meant taking on more than they could hold. But love is not meant to crush you. Caring is not meant to empty you. Being there for others should not mean disappearing from yourself. Perhaps your heart has been asking for boundaries, not because it has stopped loving, but because it is tired of drowning. Perhaps it has been asking for rest, not because it is lazy, but because it has been overworked in silence. Perhaps it has been asking for softness because it has been living under hard expectations for too long. There is wisdom in that tiredness. There is a message in that heaviness, the mess. Age is not that you are broken. The message is that something needs care. Think of the heart as a room. Over time, things get placed inside it. Joy, grief, hope, fear, love, pressure, memory, disappointment, longing. If nothing is ever cleared, the room becomes crowded. There is less space to breathe, less room for calm, less room for light. This does not mean the room is bad. It only means it has been holding too much. It needs tending. It needs air. It needs gentle hands. It needs the old dust of pain to be lifted. It needs some burdens to be removed. It needs a little peace to return. Tonight can be a chance to stop adding to the clutter, not by forcing yourself to solve everything, but by choosing not to pile more fear onto what is already heavy, choosing not to replay every worry one more time, choosing not to speak harshly to yourself before sleep, choosing not to demand instant healing, choosing instead to say, "My heart has been carrying too much, and tonight I choose kindness." That is not a small choice. That is a healing choice. Your heart may also be tired from hope that was delayed. That kind of tiredness is quiet but deep. It comes when you have waited for change, prayed for peace, wanted relief, wanted love, wanted clarity, wanted healing, and still found yourself feeling stuck. Waiting can tire the heart. Disappointment can tire the heart. Trying again after being hurt can tire the heart. But even then, your heart is not wrong for still hoping. It is not foolish for still wanting healing. It is not weak for needing rest along the way. There is no shame in being affected by life. There is no shame in having a tender heart. There is no shame in feeling deeply. The world may teach people to hide tenderness, but tenderness is not the problem. A shut-down heart may survive, but an open heart can truly heal. And to open again, the heart needs to feel safe. It needs to know it will not be mocked for hurting. It needs to know it will not be rushed. It needs to know it will not be left alone with all this weight. So tonight, let yourself admit the truth in a loving way. My heart has been carrying too much. It has been trying so hard. It has been holding pain, pressure, fear, and tiredness. It has been protecting me the best way it knows how. Let that truth be met with compassion, not shame. Your heart is not your enemy. It is not failing you. It is responding to what it has lived through, and now it is asking for a new response from you. Not more pressure, not more silence, not more pretending, more love, more rest, more care. Imagine what changes when the heart no longer has to brace itself all the time. Imagine what becomes possible when it no longer has to carry every hurt into the next day. Imagine the space that opens when even a little weight is released. Peace begins to enter, breath deepens, thoughts slow down, the body softens, sleep comes close. Our hope becomes less painful, healing feels less far away. This is why recognizing the burden matters. You cannot lovingly release what you keep pretending is not there. So let the truth be simple tonight. Your heart is tired because it has been carrying too much. That does not make you weak. It makes you human. It makes you someone who has felt deeply, tried hard, endured much, and kept going. But continuing to carry everything is not the only way. Tonight, you are allowed to set some of that weight down. Tonight, you are allowed to treat your heart like something worthy of care. Tonight, you are allowed to stop asking it to do what it was never meant to do alone. Let your heart hear a gentler message now. You do not need to keep proving your strength through suffering. You do not need to hold every worry in order to be responsible. You do not need to keep every pain alive in order to honor it. You do not need to stay hard in order to stay safe. You can soften and still be safe. You can rest and still be protected. You can release and still be held. This night can become a shelter for your tired heart, a place where it is no longer asked to perform, a place where it is not told to hurry, a place where it can finally exhale, a place where what has been too heavy can begin to loosen, a place where your inner world hears the words it has needed for so long. You have carried enough for today. You are allowed to rest now. You are allowed to be gentle with yourself now. You are allowed to begin healing now. Many people try to heal the same way they try to solve problems. They push harder. They think harder. They analyze more. They try to control every feeling. They search for the perfect answer, the perfect method, the perfect timeline. They tell themselves that if they can just do enough, understand enough, work hard enough, then maybe the pain will finally leave. But the heart does not heal well under pressure. It does not bloom because it is forced. It opens when it feels safe enough to soften. This is one of the deepest truths about healing. Healing does not begin when you fight yourself more. Healing begins when you stop fighting what you feel. That does not mean you give up on yourself. It does not mean you stay stuck in pain. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop turning your pain into a battle. It means you stop treating your wounded heart like an enemy that must be defeated. It means you stop demanding that your feelings disappear before they have even been heard. There is a kind of exhaustion that comes from always being at war inside yourself. One part of you feels sad, and another part says, "Do not be sad." One part of you feels afraid, and another part says, "Get over it." One part of you feels tired, and another part says, "Keep going." One part of you wants comfort, and another part says, "That is weakness." This inner struggle creates even more pain, not because our feelings are wrong, but because they are being resisted at every turn. When the heart is not only hurting, but also being judged for hurting, healing becomes harder. Fighting what you feel may seem like strength at first. It may feel like discipline. It may even look like control, but often it is just fear wearing a strong face, fear of falling apart, fear of being overwhelmed, fear that if you stop pushing, nothing will ever change, fear that if you let yourself feel, the pain will swallow you. These fears are understandable, but most of the time, the opposite is true. The feelings that scare you most often soften when they are met, not when they are fought. Pain begins to change when it is allowed to breathe. Think of how the body responds when it is tense. The shoulders tighten, the jaw hardens, the breath gets smaller, the chest contracts. Now think of what happens when you finally exhale. Something opens, something lets go, something softens. Emotional healing works in a similar way. When you fight your pain, your whole inner world tightens around it. When you soften, your inner world makes space for change, not by force, by release. So many people are trying to heal while still holding themselves in a grip of fear. They want peace, but they keep feeding panic. They want rest, but they keep demanding answers. They want relief, but they keep replaying what hurts them. They want healing, but they speak to themselves with hardness. It is very hard for peace to grow in a place ruled by pressure. Peace needs softness. Healing needs room. The heart needs kindness. This is why stopping the fight is not giving up. It is creating the conditions where healing can finally begin. To stop fighting does not mean to love the pain. It means to stop adding more pain to pain. It means to stop saying, I should not feel this. It means to stop acting as if tears are failure. It means to stop treating your healing like a race. It means to stop measuring your worth by how quickly you can move on. It means to stop forcing your inner world to match a timeline your heart never agreed to. Healing has its own pace. The heart has its own wisdom. Softness helps you hear it. Many people have been taught that healing must look like control. Stay composed, stay productive, stay positive, stay busy, keep going. But true healing often begins in a quieter place. It begins in honesty. It begins in slowing down enough to admit what hurts. It begins in making space for what you feel without fear. It begins in not needing to fix every emotion the moment it appears. There is power in letting a feeling exist without turning it into a problem to solve. When you stop fighting sadness, sadness can move. When you stop fighting fear, fear can speak and then soften. When you stop fighting exhaustion, rest becomes possible. When you stop fighting grief, love hidden inside grief can begin to reveal itself. This is not because pain is pleasant. It is because resisted pain stays tight. Met pain begins to loosen. What is held with gentleness changes in ways force cannot create. Healing asks for a different kind of strength than the world often praises. Not the strength to hide, not the strength to push through anything, not the strength to carry endless weight without breaking. Healing asks for the strength to be tender, the strength to pause, the strength to tell the truth, the strength to rest before you feel ready, the strength to believe that your worth is not tied to how hard you can be on yourself. This strength is quiet, but it is real. In many ways, it is greater than force because it does not come from fear, it comes from trust. What would change if tonight you stopped trying to force healing and simply made room for it? What would change if instead of saying, I need to fix myself, you said, I am willing to be gentle with myself? What would change if instead of asking, why am I still like this, you asked, what does my heart need right now? Those questions open a door. They move you out of pressure and into care. They shift healing from a battle into a relationship with your own heart, a relationship built on listening, patience, and love. Sometimes the fight inside you has been going on for so long that it feels normal. You may not even notice how often you resist your own emotions. You may not notice how quickly you tense against sadness, shame yourself for fear, rush past hurt, or push aside your need for comfort. But awareness can begin changing that. The moment you notice the inner fight, you can choose something new, a softer breath, a kinder thought, a slower response, a gentler tone, a quiet willingness to say, I do not have to battle myself tonight. This is where surrender enters, and surrender is often misunderstood. Surrender is not failure. It is not weakness. It is not letting pain win. Surrender is the moment you stop trying to control everything that lives inside you. It is the moment you say, I am done fighting the fact that I feel what I feel. I am willing to let healing happen in a softer way. I am willing to stop gripping. I am willing to trust that peace can reach me without force. Surrender is not collapse. It is release. It is the opening of a clenched hand. The heart knows the difference between being pushed and being supported. One creates fear, the other creates trust. When you push yourself emotionally, the heart becomes guarded. When you support yourself emotionally, the heart begins to open. This is why simple kindness matters so much. A gentle word, a deeper breath, a quiet moment of stillness, a loving thought before sleep. These may seem small, but they tell the heart something important. You are safe with me now. You do not have to keep bracing. There is healing in no longer making an enemy out of your own tenderness. There is healing in no love. No longer seeing your emotions as weakness. There is healing in understanding that feeling deeply does not mean something is wrong with you. It means something in you wants care. And care is not something you earn by being perfect. Care is something you deserve because you are alive, because you are human, because your heart matters. If you have been trying to heal by force, you may feel tired of your own effort, tired of trying so hard, tired of repeating the same thoughts, tired of asking when it will get better, tired of trying to stay above your feelings, tired of pretending peace can be achieved by pressure. Let tonight be different. Let tonight be the night you stop climbing over yourself to reach healing and instead sit quietly enough to receive it. Let tonight be the night you stop trying to drag your heart into peace and begin inviting it there gently. Imagine how a frightened child responds to force. It does not relax, it tightens. It becomes more afraid, but when met with calm, patience, and warmth, it slowly begins to trust. The heart is not so different. The hurt parts of you do not heal through command. They heal through tenderness. They heal when they are no longer rushed. They heal when they are no longer shamed. They heal when they are held with enough love that they no longer feel they must protect themselves so fiercely. Stopping the fight may look very simple tonight. It may mean not replaying the same pain one more time before sleep. It may mean not answering every fearful thought. It may mean letting a feeling rise without trying to shut it down. It may mean placing a hand on your heart and saying, I am here with you. It may mean choosing one kind thought instead of one harsh one. It may mean giving yourself permission to rest, even if life is not fully sorted out. These are gentle acts, but they have real power. They teach the heart a new way to live. When the fight begins to fade, healing has room to move. Breath deepens, the chest softens, the nervous system begins to settle. Thoughts slow down. The need to control every outcome loosens. The body starts to understand that danger is not everywhere. The heart starts to feel that it can let go a little, and in that little opening, much can happen. Peace enters quietly. Rest becomes possible. Hope feels less painful. The future feels less sharp. Love begins to return to places that felt shut down. This is why softness is not the opposite of power. Softness is often the path to real power, not the power to control everything, but the power to remain open, the power to trust, the power to receive healing rather than force it, the power to let go of what constant struggle has never solved, the power to choose peace over pressure, even if only for this one night. You do not have to stop all fear at once. You do not have to become perfectly peaceful tonight. You do not have to fully understand how healing works. You only need. And to begin by not fighting yourself so hard, that is enough. Enough for tonight. Enough for this moment. Enough for the heart to feel a little safer. Enough for healing to begin in quiet ways. So if your heart has been tense, let it hear this now. You do not have to force healing. You do not have to chase peace. You do not have to wrestle your pain into silence. You can soften. You can breathe. You can stop trying to carry every feeling with control. You can allow healing to rise like a gentle tide in the night. You can trust that what is held with love begins to change. Tonight, stop fighting your way through the dark. Let the dark become still around you. Let your breath slow down. Let your thoughts loosen their grip. Let your heart know there is no battle to win before sleep. There is only softness to receive. There is only peace to allow. There is only this quiet moment in which you can say, I do not have to fight anymore. I can rest now. I can soften now. I can let healing begin now. There is something very special about the night that many people forget. During the day, life asks so much from you. The day asks you to answer, respond, move, decide, fix, plan, and keep going. The day is often full of noise, full of duties, full of other people's needs, and full of moments that pull your attention in many directions. Even when you want peace, it can be hard to find because the world keeps asking for more. But nighttime is different. Nighttime gently removes much of that noise. It creates a softer space. It asks less from you. And because it asks less, your heart has a chance to speak more clearly. When the day grows quiet, something inside you becomes easier to hear. The deeper feelings that were covered by busyness begin to rise. The thoughts that were pushed aside can no longer hide as easily. The tiredness you ignored can finally be felt. For some people, this makes the night feel hard. The silence can seem too honest. The stillness can feel too deep. But the same quiet that reveals pain can also become the place where healing begins. Nighttime does not only show you what hurts, nighttime also offers a chance to soften around it. The night is sacred because it invites you to stop performing. It invites you to stop trying to appear fine. It invites you to stop holding yourself together so tightly. It invites you to stop carrying the face you wore all day and return to something more real. In the quiet of the night, you do not need to prove anything. You do not need to have an answer for every feeling. You do not need to explain your pain to anyone. You only need to be willing to meet yourself gently. That willingness makes the night powerful. Many people think healing only happens when they are actively doing something. They think healing only counts when they are reading, working, solving, learning, trying, or fixing. But some of the deepest healing happens in stillness. Some of the deepest healing happens when the body is resting, when the mind is no longer trying so hard, and when the heart is finally given space to breathe. This is why nighttime can become holy ground for emotional healing. It is a time when the outside world becomes quieter and the inside world has room to receive peace. Your heart does not only heal through effort, it also heals through rest. It heals through quiet. It heals through being held by a softer rhythm. There is a reason so many people cry at night, pray at night, reflect at night, and long for comfort at night. The heart knows that the night carries a different kind of truth. It knows that in the darkness there is also tenderness. It knows that when the world slows down, hidden feelings finally get a chance to come into the light of awareness. And once something is honestly felt, it can begin to change. Nighttime is not empty. It is full of unseen work. Just because you cannot see healing does not mean healing is not happening. So much in life happens quietly. Seeds grow in silence. The body repairs in sleep. The breath continues without effort. The heart keeps beating in the dark. In the same way, emotional healing can move quietly through you while the world is still. The mind may not always understand how. The heart does not need to understand every step in order to receive what is good for it. This is important because many people lie awake at night believing they must figure everything out before they can rest. They believe they must solve the pain before sleep, solve the future before sleep, solve the past before sleep. But the night is not asking you to solve. It is asking you to surrender. It is asking you to trust that you can rest. Even while some things remain unfinished, it is asking you to believe that peace can hold unanswered questions for a few hours. It is asking you to let the healing continue, even when your thinking stops. There is a kind of wisdom in the dark, not the darkness of fear, but the gentle darkness of rest. The darkness that says, enough for today. The darkness that covers the world in quiet and gives you permission to put things down. The darkness that tells the nervous system it can begin to settle. The darkness that makes room for softness. The darkness that whispers, you do not have to keep carrying this into every hour. You can let go for tonight. You can let yourself be held by rest. Nighttime is also sacred because it lowers the wall between what you know and what you feel. During the day, people often stay in the head. They think, plan, rush, and react. But at night, the heart becomes easier to hear. A feeling you ignored in the afternoon may rise in the evening. A truth you avoided in the noise may appear in the silence. This can be uncomfortable, but it can also be healing. When the heart is finally heard, it no longer needs to knock so loudly. When pain is gently noticed, it no longer has to scream for your attention. The night gives you a chance to listen without rushing to fix. That is part of what makes it sacred. It is not only a time for sleep, it is a time for allowing. It is a time for saying, I do not need to push this moment. I do not need to force my heart into peace. I can simply become quiet enough to let peace draw near. That quietness is not weakness. It is trust. It is an opening. It is a soft turning toward healing. For many people, nighttime has become connected with worry. The lights go off, the body lies down, and the mind grows louder. Old conversations return, fear about tomorrow grows, regret visits, rest becomes difficult. But tonight can begin a new relationship with the night. Instead of seeing the night as a place where worry gets stronger, you can begin to see it as a place where healing gets deeper. Instead of using the night to repeat fear, you can use it to return to gentleness. Instead of letting the quiet fill with pressure, you can let it fill with peace. What if the night became your reminder that you do not have to carry everything alone? What if the darkness became a blanket, not a threat? What if the stillness became medicine, not something to fear? What if this time before sleep became a sacred meeting between your tired heart and the peace that has been waiting patiently for you to slow down enough to receive it? That is possible. Not because life is suddenly perfect, but because the night makes space for a different way of being. When you allow yourself to see nighttime as healing time, your whole energy changes. You stop entering sleep as if it were a final task to complete. You stop trying to force rest. You stop treating bedtime like a test you must pass. Instead, you begin to enter the night like a quiet sanctuary, a place where your heart can unclench, a place where your mind can loosen, a place where your body can remember what safety feels like, a place where healing does not have to be loud to be real. Think of how the whole world changes at night. The air feels different. The light changes, sounds soften, movement slows. It is as if life itself is telling you to lower your shoulders, to loosen your jaw, to stop bracing so hard. Nature understands rest. The sky darkens without struggle. The day lets go without fear. The world turns gently toward stillness, and you are part of that same rhythm. You are not separate from it. Your heart, too, is allowed to move toward rest. Your emotions, too, are allowed to soften. Your inner world, too, is allowed to be held by the quiet. Sometimes people resist this because they fear what they will feel once everything gets still. But feeling is not the enemy. Feeling is often the beginning of healing. The pain that rises at night is not proof that something is wrong with you. It may be proof that your heart is finally in a quiet and engaged place to ask for care. The sadness that comes up may be asking to be soothed. The fear may be asking to be comforted. The tension may be asking to be released. If you meet these things gently instead of resisting them, the night changes. It becomes less about battling your inner world and more about blessing it. A sacred night is not a perfect night. It does not mean every thought disappears. It does not mean you instantly feel calm. It means you bring a different spirit into the night, a softer spirit, a kinder spirit, a more trusting spirit. It means you stop asking the night to erase you and start allowing it to restore you. It means you stop arriving at bedtime with the same harshness the world may have given you all day. It means you begin to bring comfort where there has been pressure, patience where there has been fear, and love where there has been tension. The beauty of nighttime healing is that it does not need applause. It does not need to be seen. It does not need to be dramatic. It can happen in one slow breath, in one honest tear, in one gentle prayer, in one quiet moment where you stop resisting your own heart. It can happen when you finally admit, I am tired and I need peace. It can happen when you place your hand on your chest and choose tenderness instead of tension. It can happen while you lie still and allow the body to rest without demanding instant answers. And there is something deeply comforting in knowing that the night can hold what you cannot hold forever on your own, that the quiet can carry some of the weight, that sleep itself can become a doorway through which healing moves, that you do not need to stay alert all night to protect yourself, that you can rest and still be safe, that you can let go and still be held. This is why the night is sacred, because it reminds you that healing does not only come through effort, it also comes through surrender. So let the night become more than the ending of a hard day. Let it become the beginning of something softer. Let it become the moment you stop demanding so much from yourself. Let it become the space where your heart is allowed to feel what it feels without shame. Let it become the hour where peace begins to do its quiet work. Let it become the place where your tired spirit hears a gentler truth. You do not have to keep carrying all of this through the dark. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to heal while the world is still. Tonight, the night itself is on your side. The silence is not empty. It is full of room for healing. The darkness is not against you. It is making space for rest. The stillness is not a problem. It is an invitation. Let your heart accept that invitation. Let your breath slow down into it. Let your mind loosen into it. Let your body lie down inside it. And let this sacred night become a soft place where healing can begin to move through you in ways you do not need to control. Before sleep comes, there is a gentle question waiting for you. What have you been carrying today that you no longer need to take into the night? Maybe it is stress. Maybe it is hurt. Maybe it is disappointment. Maybe it is fear. Maybe it is tension from words you heard, words you said, or words you never said. Maybe it is the heavy feeling of trying your best and still not feeling at peace. Whatever it is, the night does not ask you to hold it forever. The night invites you to set it down. Many people bring the whole day into bed with them. They carry unfinished thoughts, painful moments, mistakes, worry about tomorrow, and silent sadness from earlier hours. The body lies down, but the day stays standing inside. The room gets dark, but the inner world stays full. This is why letting go matters. Not because the day did not happen, not because the pain is not real, but because your heart deserves a little space from it. Your heart deserves a few hours where it is not gripping every hurt and every fear as if they must be carried through the night. Letting go does not mean pretending nothing affected you. It does not mean denying pain. It does not mean saying, I should not feel this. Letting go means releasing your grip. It means saying, this happened, this hurt, this was heavy, but I do not need to keep holding it so tightly right now. It means giving yourself permission to stop replaying what cannot be changed tonight. It means understanding that resting is not betrayal. You are not dishonoring your pain by loosening your hold on it. You are giving your heart the relief it needs in order to heal. There are hurts that follow people into the night almost every day. A conversation that left a sting, a memory that rose without warning, fear about money, health, love, or the future, regret about not doing enough, shame about not being enough. The quiet ache of longing for something that still has not come, the tension of carrying responsibilities that feel too big. These things gather in the body, they gather in the breath, they gather in the chest, and if they are never released, even gently, they begin to feel like a second skin. But you are not meant to sleep wrapped in emotional heaviness every night. You are not meant to go into rest while still clenching around the whole day. You are not meant to carry every disappointment through every dream. Some things need to be felt, yes, but some things also need to be laid down. There is mercy in that. There is wisdom in that. The heart can only breathe when there is some room inside it. So tonight, imagine gathering everything from the day that felt too heavy. Not to examine it again, not to judge it, just to notice it. The worry, the sadness, the stress, the frustration, the pressure, the fear, the exhaustion, the disappointment, the silent pain. Notice it without making it bigger. Notice it without arguing with it. Noti xasi. See it the way you would notice a heavy bag you have been carrying for hours. Once you notice the weight, you can stop pretending it is light. And once you stop pretending, release becomes possible. You do not have to release everything at once. You do not have to wake up tomorrow completely different in order for tonight to matter. Even a little release is healing. Even one softer breath is healing. Even one thought that says, I do not need to carry this right now, is healing. The heart responds to small mercy. The nervous system responds to simple safety. Peace often enters through very small openings. It does not always burst in. Sometimes it arrives quietly through your willingness to put down one burden at a time. Maybe what you need to release tonight is the feeling that you should have done more today. So many people end the day in judgment. I should have handled that better. I should have said more. I should have said less. I should have been calmer. I should have been stronger. I should have accomplished more. I should not still feel this way. These thoughts are heavy. They keep the heart working even when the day is over. But tonight, You can let go of the need to judge the whole day. You can say, today was what it was, and now I choose rest. Maybe what you need to release is someone else's energy. Perhaps the day was full of demands, moods, tension, or pressure that did not fully belong to you, yet you carried it anyway. This happens so easily. You walk through the world and gather things from others without meaning to. Their fear, their expectations, their anger, their sadness, their urgency. By the end of the day, you may feel heavy and not even know why. Tonight, you are allowed to return what is not yours. You do not have to carry every emotion you touched. You do not have to take every burden into your own heart. Maybe what you need to release is a moment that keeps repeating in your mind. Something uncomfortable, something painful, something you wish had gone differently. The mind often believes that replaying it will somehow create control. But most of the time, it only creates more tension. Tonight, you can stop replaying what your heart has already lived through once. You can say, I do not need to relive this again in order to be safe. I can let this moment rest. I can let myself rest. Maybe what you need to release is fear about tomorrow. This is a heavy one for many people. The future can sit on the chest before it even arrives. What if this goes wrong? What if I cannot handle it? What if nothing changes? What if things get worse? These fears can make bedtime feel like another place of work. But tomorrow does not need to be solved tonight. Tomorrow can wait. Your heart does not need to stand guard over the future while you sleep. Rest is not carelessness. Rest is trust. Rest is the choice to believe that you do not need to carry tomorrow before it comes. There is also pain that does not belong only to today, but feels stronger at night because the quiet gives it room. Old grief, old rejection, old sadness, old loneliness, old shame. These things may not disappear tonight, and that is all right. Letting go does not always mean that the feeling vanishes. Sometimes it simply means that you stop holding it in a hard way. You stop tightening around it. You stop saying, I cannot feel this. You stop making it heavier with resistance. You let it be there without making it your whole identity for the night. This is a gentle kind of release. Not pushing away, not denying, not escaping, just loosening, just softening, just allowing the pain to sit in a wider space where peace is also present. That is a powerful thing, because when pain is the only thing in the room, it feels overwhelming. But when pain is present and peace is also present, something changes. The heart no longer feels trapped. It begins to understand that hurt and healing can both exist in the same moment. It begins to trust that release is possible. If it helps, you can think of tonight as a doorway. On one side of the doorway is everything from the day. On the other side is rest. Before you cross into sleep, you do not need to drag every burden with you. You are allowed to pause at the doorway and choose what you are willing to leave behind for now. Not forever if that feels too big, just for tonight, just for these sleeping hours, just long enough for your heart to remember what it feels like to rest without gripping pain so tightly. You may say to yourself, I release the hurt I carried today. I release the worry I carried today. I release the pressure I carried today. I release the sadness I carried today. I release the fear I carried today. I release the need to figure everything out tonight. These words matter because your heart listens to the tone you use with yourself. When you speak release softly, your inner world begins to respond. The body hears permission. The chest loosens. The breath gets kinder. The mind begins to step back. Sometimes people hold on because they believe letting go means losing control. But holding on all night does not truly protect you. It only exhausts you. Real safety does not come from endless inner tension. Real safety comes from knowing you can rest and still be held, that you can sleep and still be cared for, that you can loosen your grip and still remain safe. Letting go is not falling apart. It is allowing yourself to be supported by something gentler than fear. You do not need to force the release. Even the desire to let go is enough to begin. Even the smallest willingness matters. If all you can say tonight is, I want to release this, that is enough. If all you can do is take one slower breath and imagine some of the heaviness leaving your chest, that is enough. Release is not a performance. It is an inner softening. It is a turn-in. It is a quiet choice to stop carrying what has become too heavy for this moment. And after release comes space. Space in the chest, space in the mind, space in the breath, space where peace can enter, space where healing can begin its quiet work, space where sleep no longer feels so far away. Your heart needs that space. It cannot rest deeply when it is crowded with every hurt and every fear from the day. But when even a little room opens, calm can begin to settle in. So tonight, let the day end, not only on the clock, but inside you. Let the moments that hurt stop asking for your full attention for a little while. Let the mistakes stop following you into sleep. Let the pressure soften. Let the pain become lighter in your hands. Let the burdens of the day know that they do not get to own the whole night. This night belongs to peace. This night belongs to rest. This night belongs to your healing heart. You have carried enough for one day. That is true. Even if the mind tries to say there is more to solve, the heart knows when it is time to stop. The body knows when it is time to lie down. The soul knows when it is time to release. Honor that wisdom tonight. Honor it by not adding more weight. Honor it by not repeating every fear. Honor it by not demanding perfect peace before sleep. Just soften. Just release. Just let the day leave your hands. And as you do, trust this simple truth. What you put down tonight can be met again tomorrow with a calmer heart, a softer mind, and a more rested spirit. You do not lose strength by resting. You renew it. You do not lose care by releasing. You make healing possible. You do not fail by letting the day go. You bless yourself by doing so. So let the pain you carried today become lighter now. Let it leave your shoulders. Let it leave your chest. Let it leave your hands. Let your heart step into the night with less weight and more peace. Words matter more than many people realize. The heart listens to them. The body responds to them. The nervous system reacts to the tone behind them. A harsh word can make the chest tighten. A gentle word can make the breath deepen. A fearful thought can bring more tension into the night. A loving thought can begin to calm the whole inner world. This is why healing affirmations can be so powerful before sleep. They are not magic tricks. They are gentle messages of safety, peace, and care that you offer to your own heart. During the day, many people repeat painful thoughts without even noticing. I am too much. I am not enough. I cannot handle this. Nothing is changing. I will never feel better. I am so tired of this. These thoughts do not come because you are doing something wrong. They often come because pain has made them familiar, but the heart absurd. Be as what it hears again and again. If it keeps hearing fear, it becomes more guarded. If it keeps hearing love, it begins to soften. This is where affirmations help. They offer the heart a new language. Affirmations are simple on purpose. They do not need to be complicated to be powerful. In fact, simple words often go deeper. They can be understood not only by the mind, but also by the body. Before sleep, that matters. Your system does not need long explanations at bedtime. It needs comfort. It needs softness. It needs words that feel like a warm blanket around the heart. That is why a short affirmation can do more than a long argument with fear. When you speak a healing affirmation slowly and gently, you are doing something beautiful. You are no longer leaving your heart alone with all the painful thoughts it has been carrying. You are entering the room with kindness. You are offering your inner world a new sound, a calmer sound, a safer sound, a more loving sound. You are saying, I know you have been hurting, but this is not the only message you will hear tonight. Tonight, you will also hear peace. One simple affirmation can begin to change the whole feeling of the night. My heart is safe. These words are so simple, yet they reach deep. Many hearts are not only tired from pain, they are tired from feeling unsafe inside. Unsafe to feel, unsafe to rest, unsafe to stop worrying, unsafe to soften. But when you say, my heart is safe, you begin to tell the nervous system that it does not need to stay on guard at the same level. You begin to create an inner space where healing is more welcome. Another gentle affirmation is, I let go of pain. Notice how soft these words are. They do not say, I force the pain away. They do not say, I must stop feeling this now. They say, I let go. That is very different. Letting go is an act of release, not violence. It is an act of trust, not pressure. Even if the pain does not fully leave in one moment, the words still matter. They begin to loosen the grip. They remind the heart that it does not need to hold suffering as tightly as it has been holding it. You can also say, I allow love to heal me. There is great comfort in that line because it reminds the heart that healing is not something it must create all by itself. Healing can be received. Love can do work inside you while you rest. Love can reach places inside you that effort cannot reach. Love can soften old fear. Love can warm cold places in the heart. Love can stay with your pain without making it bigger. When you say, "I allow love to heal me," you are opening the door to a softer kind of healing. Another beautiful affirmation for the night is, "While I sleep, peace fills my heart." This one is especially gentle because it joins sleep with healing. It says that rest is not empty time. It says something none good can happen while you sleep. It says your heart does not need to stay awake doing all the work. It can receive peace in the quiet. It can heal in the unseen. It can be filled with calm while your body rests. This affirmation is a gift to anyone who fears that sleep is only a pause in the pain. It reminds the heart that sleep can become part of the healing. Simple affirmations work best when they are spoken slowly, like you truly mean them, even if part of you is still learning to believe them. You do not have to force belief. That is important. You do not need to say the words with perfect certainty. You only need to say them with gentleness. Healing often begins before full belief arrives. A willing heart can still receive comfort. A tired heart can still benefit from soft truth, even if it is still learning to trust it. The reason bedtime affirmations are so powerful is because the night is a doorway. The mind is beginning to slow down. The body is preparing to rest. The heart is more open than it may be during the busy hours of the day. Words spoken at this time can settle more deeply. They can become the final message your inner world hears before sleep. And that final message matters. If the last voice your heart hears is fear, the night becomes heavier. If the last voice your heart hears is peace, the night becomes softer. You may notice that healing affirmations are not about pretending life is perfect. They do not deny pain. They do not ask you to fake joy. They offer comfort right in the middle of what is real. "My heart is safe" does not mean nothing ever hurts. It means safety can still be invited in. "I let go of pain" does not mean pain never existed. It means pain does not have to rule the whole night. "I allow love to heal me" does not mean healing is finished. It means you are opening to the process. "While I sleep, peace fills my heart" does not mean every problem is solved. It means rest itself can become a place of blessing. You can repeat one affirmation several times if it feels especially needed. Sometimes one line touches the exact place that has been aching. Sometimes the heart knows which truth it needs to hear. On one night, it may need, "My heart is safe." On another night, it may need, "I let go of pain." On another, it may need, "I allow love to heal me." There is no wrong way to do this. The goal is not perfection. The goal is care. The tone matters just as much as the words. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you deeply love. Softly, slowly, gently, without judgment, without rushing. If you speak the affirmations like commands, the heart may tighten again. But if you speak them like comfort, the heart begins to relax. Healing is invited, not forced. Peace is welcomed, not demanded. Love is allowed, not ordered. You can also let the affirmations flow together in a calm rhythm. "My heart is safe." I let go of pain. I allow love to heal me. While I sleep, peace fills my ear. Spoken slowly, these words create a new atmosphere inside. They begin to replace the old rhythm of worry. They begin to quiet the repeated habits of fear. They begin to give the night a softer center, and that softer center can change more than you realize. If fear rises while you say them, that is all right. You do not need to fight the fear. Just keep returning gently to the words. Let them be an anchor. Let them be something kind to hold on to. The mind may wander. Old worries may try to return. But each time you come back to the affirmation, you are teaching your heart a new path, a calmer path, a safer path, a more loving path. Repetition matters because the heart learns through gentle return. Over time, these simple affirmations can begin to shape the feeling of the night itself. Bedtime starts to feel less like entering a room full of worry and more like entering a space of peace. Sleep starts to feel less like escape and more like support. The heart starts to expect gentleness instead of tension, and this is how healing grows. Not only in one dramatic moment, but in many quiet moments of repeated kindness. You may also notice that affirmations help create a feeling of companionship. Pain often feels lonely. Night can feel lonely. But a loving affirmation reminds the heart that it is not being abandoned in the dark. It is being spoken to with care. It is being held in language that blesses rather than wounds, that matters deeply. Many hearts are not only tired from pain, they are tired from the absence of tenderness. An affirmation changes that. It becomes a gentle presence. So tonight, let your final thoughts be softer than the thoughts that hurt you during the day. Let your inner voice become a place of healing. Let your words become warm enough for your heart to rest inside them. You do not need many. You only need a few true and gentle lines that feel like peace. My heart is safe. I let go of pain. I allow love to heal me. While I sleep, peace fills my heart. Let these words stay near you now. Let them move through your chest like a calm wave. Let them settle into your breath. Let them rest in the spaces where fear has been loud. Let them bless the places that have been sore and tired. Let them become the soft truth you carry into sleep. Not pressure, not fear, not struggle. Just these simple words offered with love until your heart begins to believe that tonight it is safe enough to heal. Now let your heart move into a softer place. There is nothing you need to force in this moment. There is nothing you need to prove. There is nowhere else you need to be. Just let yourself become still enough to receive something gentle. Let your breath slow down naturally. Let the muscles in your face soften. Let your shoulders lower. Let your chest feel a little more open. And as the night grows quieter around you, begin to imagine a warm and peaceful light resting over your heart. This light is soft. It is not harsh. It does not rush toward you. It simply surrounds your heart with calm. It may look like a golden light, a white light, or a warm pink light. Whatever feels peaceful to you is enough. See it glowing gently in the center of your chest, right where your tired feelings have been living, right where your heart has been carrying so much. This light does not come to judge what it finds there. It comes to comfort. It comes to heal. It comes to bring peace to every part of you that has felt heavy, hurt, afraid, or alone. Imagine this light growing warmer with every breath. As you breathe in, the light becomes brighter and softer at the same time. As you breathe out, tension begins to leave your chest. Not all at once, just gently, just enough for your heart to begin to feel that something kind is happening. The light knows exactly where to go. It reaches the places in you that have been tired for a long time. It reaches the places that feel sore with sadness. It reaches the places that still hold fear. It reaches the places that have stayed tight because they did not know it was safe to let go. You do not have to direct this light. You do not have to control it. Just let it move the way peace moves, quietly, lovingly, wisely. It knows how to touch the parts of your heart that words cannot fully describe. It knows how to bring comfort to old hurts. It knows how to rest over the pain you carried today. It knows how to stay with you without asking you to explain everything. This light is gentle, and because it is gentle, your heart does not need to hide from it. See the light flowing through your chest now like warm water. It moves around every hard place. It touches every heavy feeling. It enters every place where pain has stayed too long. It does not fight the pain. It simply surrounds it with love until the pain begins to soften. Imagine that the sadness in your heart is slowly melting inside this warm light. Imagine that fear is loosening its grip. Imagine that the pressure inside your chest is becoming lighter. Imagine that every breath gives your heart a little more room. If there is a pain you have been holding, you do not need to name it right now. You do not need to tell the whole story. Just let the light touch it. If there is grief, let the light hold it. If there is regret, let the light soften it. If there is loneliness, let the light sit beside it. If there is exhaustion, let the light wrap around it like a soft blanket. You are not being asked to force anything to leave. You are only being invited to let healing come closer. Now imagine that this light is not only around your heart, but inside it. It fills every empty space with peace. It fills every tired place with comfort. It fills every fearful place with calm. It fills every hidden place with love. The more you let this light in, the more your heart remembers that it was never meant to live only in pain. It was always meant to know peace too. It was always meant to feel warmth too. It was always meant to rest in something loving. As the light grows inside you, imagine it gently loosening every knot of tension in your chest. Some knots may come from today. Some may come from long ago. It does not matter where they came from. The light knows how to meet them all with the same tenderness. One by one, the tight places begin to soften. One by one, the hard edges begin to fade. One by one, your heart begins to feel less crowded, less burdened, less alone. Even if it is only a little, that little matters. A small softening is still healing. Now picture the light spreading beyond your heart. It moves through your shoulders and down your arms. It travels up into your throat, releasing the words you never needed to carry alone. It moves into your mind, calming the thoughts that kept circling. It moves down through your whole body, bringing a deep and quiet ease. Your body begins to understand what your heart is learning. It is safe to soften. It is safe to rest. It is safe to stop holding everything so tightly. If any fear tries to return, let the light answer it. If any heavy thought tries to rise, let the light surround it. If your mind starts to ask too many questions, return to the image of this warm glow in your chest. Let it become your focus. Let it become your comfort. Let it become the quiet center you come back to again and again. You do not need to make the image perfect. You only need to let it feel kind. Imagine now that your heart is resting in this light, the way a tired child rests in loving arms. No pressure, no demand, no hurry, just safety, just warmth, just peace. Your heart no longer needs to stay guarded in the same way. It no longer needs to brace against every memory and every fear. For this moment it can rest. For this moment it can trust. For this moment it can receive care. Notice how different this feels from struggle. Struggle tightens, this softens. Struggle pushes, this allows. Struggle makes the heart work harder. This gives the heart permission to rest. Let yourself stay with that feeling. Let yourself notice that gentleness can reach places force never could. Let yourself feel that healing is not always something loud. Sometimes it is this, a warm light, a quiet breath, a chest that feels a little less heavy than it did a few moments ago. You may want to say softly inside yourself, a warm, healing light fills my heart. You may repeat, peace is flowing through me now. Or simply, my heart is resting in love. Let the words move gently with the image. Let them become part of this calm experience. The more your heart feels surrounded by love, the less alone it feels with its pain. The more alone it stops feeling, the more healing can begin to happen. Now see this light becoming steady, like a small flame that never goes out. It is calm and faithful. It stays with you. Even when life feels uncertain, this light remains. Even when the day is hard, this light remains. Even when you forget, this light remains. It is the quiet, healing presence within you, always ready to comfort, always ready to return when you become still enough to notice it. Tonight you are noticing it. Tonight you are letting it draw near. Let the light stay over your heart as you move closer to sleep. Let it continue doing its quiet work without your effort. Let it keep softening what has been hard. Let it keep warming what has grown cold. Let it keep calming what has been restless. Let it stay with you as your breathing becomes even slower and softer. You do not need to hold the whole picture. You do not need to control how healing happens. Just let the light remain. Just let your heart rest in it. And as you rest in this gentle image, know that nothing is wasted here. Every slow breath matters. Every soft moment matters. Every little release matters. The light is reaching the places in you that need love tonight. It is touching the pain without fear. It is filling the emptiness without pressure. It is meeting your heart with exactly the kind of tenderness it has needed. Let that be enough. Let this warm, healing light remain with you now, quiet and loving, while your heart prepares for deep rest. One of the hardest things for many people is trusting what they cannot yet see. The mind often wants proof before it can relax. It wants clear signs, fast results, and visible change. It wants to know that something is working right away. But the heart heals in quieter ways than that. Not all healing is immediate. Not all healing is dramatic. Some healing is gentle, slow, and hidden, and yet it is still real. In fact, some of the deepest healing happens where the eyes cannot see it, and the mind cannot measure it. Tonight, you do not need to know exactly how healing is happening in order for healing to be happening. That truth can bring so much peace. Your heart does not need a full explanation before it can begin to soften. Your body does not need to understand every step before it can start to rest more deeply. Your inner world does not need perfect proof before it can receive comfort. Healing can already be moving quietly through you, even now, even before you fully believe it. Think of all the things in life that happen without your control. Your breath continues. Your heart keeps beating. A wound on the skin begins to mend. Night slowly becomes morning. Seeds grow in the dark soil before anyone sees a flower. So much of life works in hidden ways. So much of life changes before the change becomes visible. Emotional healing is often like that. It begins beneath the surface. It begins in softened tension, in calmer breath, in new inner words, in less fear around the pain, in a small opening, knowing where there was once only hardness. The mind may ask, but is anything really changing? And that is a natural question. But sometimes healing does not begin with the pain disappearing. Sometimes it begins with how you hold the pain changing. Sometimes it begins with a little less panic. Sometimes it begins with a little more room to breathe. Sometimes it begins with a softer thought before sleep. Sometimes it begins with a gentler response to your own heart. These things may seem small, but they are not small at all. They are signs that something within you is already shifting. Trusting healing does not mean pretending you feel perfect. It does not mean denying that there are still tender places in you. It means choosing not to measure your progress only by what is dramatic. It means letting quiet progress count. It means honoring slow change. It means believing that even if you cannot yet see the full result, your heart is not standing still. It is learning. It is softening. It is releasing. It is remembering peace little by little. There is such comfort in knowing that your heart can heal while you rest. You do not have to stay awake, guarding every emotion. You do not have to keep checking if the pain is gone yet. You do not have to watch over the healing like it will disappear if you look away. You can sleep, you can soften, you can trust that what is loving and true continues working even while your mind grows quiet. That trust is a kind of medicine too. A mind that trusts rests more easily. A heart that trusts stops fighting so hard. It is possible that healing has already begun in ways you have not fully noticed. Maybe you are a little kinder to yourself than you used to be. Maybe you no longer carry every hurt in exactly the same way. Maybe you are learning to pause instead of push. Maybe you are beginning to let yourself feel without fear. Maybe you are finally willing to admit that you need comfort. These are not small things. These are real changes. These are signs that the hard ground inside you is becoming softer, and softer ground can receive healing much more easily. The night is especially powerful for this kind of trust because sleep itself is an act of surrender. To sleep is to release the need to stay in control for a while. To sleep is to let go of constant effort. To sleep is to trust life enough to become still. When you bring this same spirit into your heart, something opens. You stop demanding immediate proof and begin allowing quiet restoration. You stop asking healing to perform and begin letting it unfold. You stop saying, "Show me now," and begin saying, "I trust that something good is already happening inside me." Your heart does not need to earn healing. It does not need to become perfect first. It does not need to be without fear before peace can enter. Healing meets you where you are. It meets you in your tiredness. It meets you in your uncertainty. It meets you in your sadness. It meets you in your longing. It meets you in the middle of the night when you are no longer trying so hard to hold everything together, and often it is already working there before you even call it by name. Sometimes the reason people miss their own healing is because they are looking for only one kind of sign. They expect healing to feel dramatic, clean, and complete. But healing is often more tender than that. It may feel like a little more softness in your chest, a little more willingness to rest, a little less fear in your thoughts, a little more patience with yourself, a little less need to control every feeling. If you honor these moments, you begin to see that healing is not absent. It is present in small, faithful ways. Trust becomes easier when you stop treating healing like a test. You do not have to wake up tomorrow free from every burden in order for tonight to matter. You do not have to feel instantly transformed for this night to be holy. You do not have to be certain of every step for the path to be real. Healing is not all or nothing. It is often a quiet unfolding. It is a slow return. It is a gentle rebuilding of safety inside the heart. Tonight may be one more part of that return. Perhaps what your heart needs most right now is not more effort, but reassurance. Reassurance that it is not forgotten. Reassurance that rest is not wasted. Reassurance that unseen healing still counts. Reassurance that just because the process is quiet does not mean it is weak. Quiet things can be very powerful. A whisper can calm a frightened heart. A breath can change the whole body. A soft prayer can carry someone through the night. A moment of trust can open a space where healing can land. You can say softly now, healing is already happening within me, or my heart is healing even now, or simply, I trust the healing I cannot yet see. These words help the inner world stop searching so anxiously for proof. They help the mind loosen its grip. They help the body prepare for rest. They help the heart feel supported by something larger than fear. And if doubt still remains, that is all right. Trust does not have to be loud. It does not have to be perfect. It can be as small as this moment, as small as one breath taken with hope, as small as the willingness to rest without solving everything, as small as choosing not to fight the night. Even that is trust. Even that opens the door. Tonight, you are allowed to believe that peace is doing its work in hidden places. You are allowed to believe that your heart is being mended in ways you do not need to manage. You are allowed to believe that sleep can carry healing. You are allowed to believe that love can reach where effort cannot. You are allowed to stop checking and start resting. So let this truth settle gently into you now. Healing does not need to wait until morning to begin. It can be happening already in your breath, in your softened chest, in your slower thoughts, in your willingness to receive comfort, in the quiet space growing around your pain. Something good is already moving. Something tender is already changing. Something deep is already being cared for. Trust that. Trust the hidden work. Trust the quiet progress. Trust the peace that enters without announcement. Trust the healing that grows in the dark, like a seed preparing for dawn. Trust that your heart is not alone in this night. Trust that even now, beneath the silence, beneath the stillness, beneath the surface, healing is already happening. There is deep comfort in remembering that you do not rest alone, even when the room is quiet, even when the world feels far away, even when no one else knows what your heart has been carrying. You are still held by something greater than fear. You are still surrounded by love. You are still supported in ways you may not always see. Tonight is not only a time to sleep, it is a time to rest inside that support. It is a time to let yourself be carried by peace instead of pressure. So many hearts feel tired because they have been acting as if they must carry life alone. They carry every fear as if no help exists. They carry every wound as if love cannot reach it. They carry every uncertain tomorrow as if everything depends only on their own effort. But tonight offers a gentler truth. You are not alone with your healing. You are not alone with your pain. You are not alone in the dark. There is a loving presence that stays with you, even now, even here, even in the places that still ache. This divine support does not always arrive in loud ways. It often feels quiet. It may feel like a calm that enters your chest for no clear reason. It may feel like a softening in your thoughts. It may feel like the sense that you can finally exhale. It may feel like being comforted from within. It may feel like warmth, stillness, or a peaceful nearness that reminds your heart that it does not have to guard itself so tightly tonight. However it comes, it is real. Love does not always need to be seen to be present. Allow yourself to imagine that you are being surrounded now by a loving peace that is larger than your worry. It rests over your room, over your body, over your heart. It is gentle and steady. It does not rush. It does not demand. It simply stays. It says you are safe enough to rest. You are loved enough to soften. You are supported enough to release some of the weight. You do not have to keep standing alone in your own pain. You are being held. There is something very healing about feeling held. A heart that feels held does not have to stay as tense. A mind that feels supported does not have to keep solving every fear. A body that feels safe does not have to brace in the same way. This is why spiritual rest matters so much. It reminds you that peace is not only something you create by effort. Peace can also be received as a gift. Support can be received as a gift. Love can be received as a gift. You do not have to earn what heaven has always wanted to give. Perhaps your heart needs to hear this tonight. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are not too damaged to be loved. You are not too tired to be restored. You are not too burdened to be comforted. There is no part of your pain that places you outside the reach of love. There is no fear in you so large that peace cannot sit beside it. There is no darkness in your night so deep that divine light cannot find you there. The heart begins to rest more deeply when it knows it is not carrying the whole story by itself. It begins to relax when it feels that something wiser and kinder is near. It begins to soften when it understands that it does not need to protect itself from every possible tomorrow. Tonight, let that understanding come close. Let it quiet the part of you that believes it must stay in control at all times. Let it calm the part of you that feels alone in its pain. Let it speak to the tired place within you that has been longing for shelter. You may want to whisper to yourself, "I am held in love tonight," or "Peace surrounds me now," or "I am guided, I am protected, I am safe to rest." These words are not only comforting, they help shift the inner atmosphere of the night. They turn bedtime into a sacred resting place instead of a lonely struggle. They remind your heart that it is not falling into darkness alone. It is resting inside love. There are times in life when support comes through people, and there are times when support comes in a quieter way, directly into the soul. A sudden peace, a gentle strength, a feeling that even though not everything is clear, you will still be carried. Tonight can be one of those moments. You do not need a full answer in order to feel supported. You do not need every problem solved in order to feel held. Sometimes divine support is simply the peace that lets you sleep when worry said you could not. Let yourself lean into that support now. Not with force, not with effort, just with willingness. Let your body sink a little more deeply into rest. Let your thoughts become less sharp. Let your breathing find an easier rhythm. Let your heart stop holding itself so tightly. Imagine that love is beneath you, around you, above you, and within you. Imagine that peace is not far away, but very close. Imagine that the same power that keeps the stars in place is also able to hold your tired heart through the night. There is great healing in no longer believing you must survive by tension alone. There is healing in believing that you can be cared for. There is healing in letting the dark hours become holy instead of lonely. There is healing in resting as someone who is watched over, guided, and loved. This does not erase all pain in one moment, but it changes the atmosphere. Around the pain, it places your struggle inside a larger tenderness. It reminds you that your story is still being carried by something loving. If your heart has felt abandoned by peace, let this night be different. If you have felt alone in your healing, let this night be different. If you have felt like you must do everything by effort, let this night be different. Tonight, rest in support. Tonight, rest in love. Tonight, rest in the truth that you are seen, even in silence, held, even in stillness, guided, even in uncertainty, protected, even while you sleep. And notice how your body responds when you remember this. The breath deepens, the chest softens, the shoulders let go a little. The mind does not need to push so hard. The heart does not need to cry out in the same way once it feels that someone, something sacred is truly near. This is why spiritual comfort matters so deeply. It tells the wounded heart that it does not have to heal in isolation. It can heal in relationship with peace. It can heal in the presence of love. It can heal while being held. So let the night become a place of sacred support. Let it become a place where you rest inside something kind. Let it become a place where your heart is no longer left alone with fear. Let it become a place where divine peace stays near your pillow, near your breath, near your chest, near every dream. Let it become a place where love watches over what is tender in you and does not turn away. Tonight, you can sleep inside that truth. You can let it cover you. You can let it comfort you. You can let it remind you that your healing is not happening in emptiness. It is happening in love. It is happening in peace. It is happening while you are held by something faithful and gentle. Rest there now. Let yourself be supported. Let yourself be loved. Let yourself be carried into sleep by the quiet grace that has been with you all along. Now the night can become even quieter. You have done enough for this moment. You do not need to keep searching. You do not need to keep carrying. You do not need to keep asking your heart for one more effort before sleep. This is the time to soften fully. This is the time to let the day be done. This is the time to let your breath become slower, your thoughts become lighter, and your whole body become ready for deep and peaceful rest. Let your breathing be easy now, in and out, slow and gentle. There is nothing to force. Each breath is a signal to your heart that it can rest. Each breath is a signal to your body that it can loosen. Each breath is a quiet message that says, you are safe enough to sleep. You are safe enough to stop. You are safe enough to be still. Let those words move through you with the breath. Safe enough to sleep. Safe enough to stop. Safe enough to be still. If any thoughts remain, let them become softer and farther away. They do not need to leave perfectly. They only need to lose their grip. Let them drift like clouds moving through a quiet night sky. You do not have to follow them. You do not have to answer them. You do not have to solve them. Let them pass. Your work now is only to rest. Your work now is only to receive peace. Your work now is only to allow sleep to come in its own gentle time. Feel the bed beneath you. Feel the support underneath your body. Let that support remind you that you do not have to hold yourself up right now. You do not have to stay alert. You do not have to keep proving your strength. You can simply be carried by rest. You can let the body sink more deeply. You can let the heart become quieter. You can let the night do what it was made to do, hold you, cover you, restore you. If your chest still feels tender, place your attention there with kindness, not with fear, not with urgency, just with tenderness. Let your heart know that it has made it through this day. Let it know that it is no longer being asked to carry everything alone. Let it know that tonight is for healing. Tonight is for softness. Tonight is for peace. Tonight is for sleep. Your heart has done enough for one day. Now it is allowed to rest. You may say softly inside yourself, tonight my heart heals in peace. Let the words move slowly through you. Tonight my heart heals in peace. Again, tonight my heart heals in peace. Feel how simple and gentle that truth is. Your heart does not have to heal through struggle tonight. It heals in peace. It heals in softness. It heals in the quiet. Now whisper inside, I sleep in love. Let that line wrap around you like a blanket. I sleep in love, not in fear, not in pressure, not in loneliness. In love, let your body receive those words. Let the mind stop resisting them. Let the heart rest inside them. I sleep in love. Again, I sleep in love. And now, one more gentle truth. I wake lighter, softer, and renewed. You do not need to make that happen. You only need to plant it softly in your spirit before sleep. I wake lighter, softer, and renewed. Let that be a promise of hope, not a pressure. Let it be something kind you offer the morning before it comes. You are giving your heart a peaceful direction. You are giving the night a blessing to carry. You can let these affirmations flow together now in a calm rhythm. Tonight, my heart heals in peace. I sleep in love. I wake lighter, softer, and renewed. There is something very soothing in hearing these words again and again. They become like gentle waves. They carry you. They calm you. They create a peaceful space inside where sleep can arrive more easily. Nothing more is needed from you now. You do not need to review the day again. You do not need to revisit every fear. You do not need to push for one more answer. Let the mind grow quiet. Let the heart rest. Let the body become heavy in the best way, the peaceful way, the safe way. Let your eyes remain soft. Let your breath keep guiding you deeper into calm. If sleep comes slowly, that is all right. Let this still be enough. Let this quiet be enough. Let the softness itself be healing. Even before sleep fully arrives, peace is already here. Even before dreams begin, your heart is already being comforted. Even before morning comes, something inside you is already being restored. There is no need to hurry the night. Let it unfold gently around you. Imagine once more that warm light around your heart, steady and loving. Imagine peace filling every empty place. Imagine the whole room resting in calm. Imagine the night holding you without asking anything from you. Imagine waking tomorrow with a little more room to breathe, a little more kindness in your chest, a little more hope than you had before. That is enough. That is beautiful. That is real. So now, let your final thoughts be soft. Let your final feelings be held in kindness. Let your final breath before sleep carry ease into every part of you. Nothing is chasing you here. Nothing is demanding more. You have permission to let go. You have permission to rest. You have permission to trust the quiet healing that is moving through your heart tonight. Tonight, my heart heals in peace. I sleep in love. I wake lighter, softer, and renewed. Let those words stay with you as you drift. Let them be the last gentle sound in your spirit before sleep carries you deeper. Let them bless your night. Let them bless your dreams. Let them bless your healing heart. And now the night can close around you in peace. You have made space for healing. You have listened to your heart with kindness. You have allowed the weight of the day to loosen. You have welcomed soft words, gentle light, quiet trust, and loving support. That is enough, more than enough. You do not need to do anything else now. Your part is simply to rest. Let this night be a holy pause for your tired heart. Let it be a place where struggle ends for a while and softness begins. Let it be a place where healing continues without pressure, where love remains near, where peace does its quiet work in hidden ways. You do not have to stay awake to make healing happen. You do not have to control what love already knows how to do. You can rest now. You can receive now. You can sleep now. So breathe once more, slowly and gently, and know this. Your heart is safe tonight. Your pain is being held with tenderness. Your spirit is supported. Your healing is in motion. And as you sleep, may peace fill every part of you. May love stay close. And may morning find you lighter, softer, calmer, and renewed.